Is that Welcome to the Rob and Kale Show. Rob Sanders.
His own mother slapped the stork that delivered him.
And Kale Hall.
He doesn't deserve to be in this business. He deserves to have been blackballed.
Rob and Kale Podcast.
And welcome in to the Rob and Kale Podcast. I'm Rob Sanders. Thanks for joining us this evening. Got some big picks for you for the upcoming weekend. Welcome in my podcast partner. He is in the upstate of the Palmetto State, Mr. Carolina Jackpot, Kale Hall. What's up, buddy?
Hey, Rob. How are you doing tonight?
I'm good, sir. Ready to pick some games. Get ready for the upcoming weekend. We kind of talked about this, but it's kind of a shit week for games. I mean, I hate to be that guy, but it's just not very good at all.
Not good. There's some good games on there.
Yeah, well, this will be the weekend that we'll remember because some team will get an upset and it'll be like, oh, remember that weekend in early September? And, I don't know. It's just, when I look at games, I don't really see anything that's really like great, You
got some good games on here. Got some Tennessee, Florida action. That's going to be a great game. Of course, yeah. I'm looking.
Normally I'm going to save you, but I was waiting for you. I mean, I look at this week's schedule and it's depressing. It really, really is. All right. Anyway. Yeah.
That sounds like something getting neutered.
Well, the title of that sound effect is The Best Cry. So there's that. Anyway.
Bulldog 1776. Thank you for the super chat, sir. Go lay some money down on your team. Yeah. Which one? Which team? I got several of them.
Oh, goodness. All right. So what's that? I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just saying we'll get into our picks in a moment. We're just going to thank our sponsors. First of all, we got to talk about the Basement Bookie. The Basement Bookie has given us 3 picks, and he's hit on all 3 of them, Jackpot. I got nothing. Look, you want to win some money, go and bet with the Basement Bookie. I mean, if you just bet just the picks that he had here, I mean, it's just straight money. I mean, it's just the way that it is. So the link is in the bio. It's the basementbookie.substack.com. Here is your Basement Bookie pick of the week. We'll get this out of the way. I don't know if the Basement Bookie's guy, girl, I have no clue. I get this message. We have another degenerate special as we bet on the over-under. Let's make it 4-0. Take the over on 64 points in the Ohio State and Western Kentucky game. So over 64 points is the pick for the Basement Bookie, Jackpot.
64 over under Ohio State, Western Kentucky.
And Western Kentucky.
That sounds pretty solid. I think I can get to 70 easily.
There you go. I mean,
because Western Kentucky will score some points. That could be like a 49-21 game or something,
Yeah, so someone says Basement Bookie is Big Barney Ross in real life. Big Barney Ross is not the Basement Bookie. I don't think so. I mean, who knows? Anyway, go to the basementbookie.substack.com and you get 2 weeks free just for listening to this show. Then it's $5 a month and you get NFL picks, you get college picks, and some baseball picks as of right now. So basementbookie.substack.com. Also, we have a Callaway's Bar and Grill. They sponsor the Callaway's Pick'em Challenge. We appreciate them. And, of course, go by and check them out if you're coming into town. Callaway's Bar and Grill, Callaway'sBarandGrill.com. We also have Dennis Wilson, DNC Trucking and Transport, Fireside Chats with Uncle Jackpot. Jackpot, read away.
Okay. Sucks to be a Gamecock. Vanderbilt has 2 wins. We may not get our second win till after Halloween. Sucks to be a Gamecock. Go Tigers.
Yeah, I mean that's something that it could. It's not. I don't think it's going to happen. But if the
Yeah.
wheels fall off, there you look at the schedule and the way that it stacks up. I think the Gamecocks could be underdogs in all of those games up until Jacksonville State. But we'll see.
Yeah, I disagree, but so.
You think they'll be favored? Seriously? In what game?
They're going to be favored next weekend. They'll be favored against Florida. They'll probably be favored at Missouri.
Are we joking here, or are we being realistic?
Why is that not fucking realistic?
It's not fucking realistic because it's not exactly you're going to be a favorite on the road. You're going to be a favorite. You're going to be a favorite on the road. You're going to be a favorite against the Mississippi State
we don't
team.
know what these teams are going to look like by that point. Florida looked like shit the last 2 times they played.
Okay. Well, I'm just saying, if I had to pick, I'd think that next time you'll be favored is against
Jackson. Didn't your team struggle with Charleston Southern last week? I'd worry about them.
All you want. Clemson sucks, asshole. Next question.
Well, I agree with that.
Them at all.
They need to be worried about Titty Bar Tom, not be worried about what South Carolina is going to be favored against goddamn Jacksonville State.
I mean, look, you have to realize what you are and just go with it. It's okay.
I mean, won this past weekend easily.
Sure.
I
mean, Clemson won by 49, but you know.
Okay, you were also playing a bunch of 8th graders.
Okay. Whatever you need there, Jackpot. That's fine with me. You want to pick some games?
Well, whatever. We're probably going to go 3-9 this year, if that. I mean, I don't know. Maybe we can upset. We might upset Vanderbilt.
I think that you'll beat Vanderbilt. I think you'll beat Jacksonville State, and I think you're going to beat Kentucky too. So I don't think 3 wins. I think you got at least 4 in your jackpot, at least.
We're beating Vanderbilt. We're beating Vanderbilt. We're beating Missouri on the road because I'm going. I always bring them good luck. We're beating Florida, and really might win this weekend. We're beating Mississippi State. They're not any good. What's that?
You're really going to the Mizzou game? That's pretty cool.
Yes, I am.
You already got your tickets?
I do.
All right. Well, I tell you what. Let's.
We're going to lose to them. Or
why are you so upset by that? You've lost 4 straight to them. Why would I think that you're going to go down there and just go up to Como and beat them?
Because I'm going.
You got better teams than this that have lost to Mizzou.
I don't. I go to road games. I went to road games the past 2 years. We don't lose when I go to road games.
You went to road games at East Carolina and Vanderbilt, sir.
Like I said, we don't lose. Blew them out. Blew them out.
Okay. All right. Whatever it is, whatever, my friend. Let's pick games. Let's go with Kansas State and Missouri. Kansas State is a 1.5-point favorite. Which way you rolling there, Jackpot?
I think Kansas State's going to beat the brakes off of them, unfortunately. The line on it was 5, and then for some reason it's moved down to 3.5. And I actually looked at Kansas State's 24/7 page, powercat.com. That's a real thing. To see if they have like a significant, like if the fucking quarterback was injured or something, and it's not. People are just throwing down money on Mizzou. And I mean, those public bets are. What have they watched Mizzou play football this year? They did not look good at all on Saturday, and those people were ready to fire Eli Drinkwitz. They're ready to run him out of town right now.
First of all, a couple of things. BVD, the picks are on the website, robandkaleshow.com. Go to the website, click on week 4. They're right there for you. Rob has an SEC bias. How do we get our 2 free weeks with the Basement Bookie? Go to thebasementbookie.substack.com and click subscribe, and you should be good to go. Very simple. I don't think there is a referral. Let me make sure. see if I can send an email to the Basement Bookie. Anyway, yeah, I'm with you, Jackpot. I think Kansas State is just better, just a lot better. I think it'd be a low scoring game, but I'm gonna take Kansas State and give up the 1.5.
SC
Next one is
Country was going
Minnesota.
on. This past week, like I thought, I had actually bet, that's one of my little bets that I made online was for Troy to cover against Kansas State because they're always tough. They normally cover against FCS opponents and play pretty well, or not FCS, Power 5 opponents. Excuse me, they are FCS, but I mean Kansas State blew them out. It's pretty impressive doing it.
Yeah, I think Kansas State's gonna. I'm not very sold on the Mizzou offense, other than what's the young man that you got as potato chips?
Luther Burden.
Everybody else in that offense pretty much sucks. So
Yeah,
I'm not buying
horrible.
into what they're doing. Next game is Minnesota at North Carolina. North Carolina is favored by 4.5. Look, when I look at North Carolina, and I'm not just saying this because they beat South Carolina or whatever, they don't look special to me at all. I mean, I watched them with App State last week, and personally, in my opinion, the game against South Carolina was a fluke. And what I mean by that is if South Carolina played them 8 more times, 9 more times, I think South Carolina would win probably 4 or 5 of those games. I just think that that North Carolina defense is not as good as it came out there, and they kind of showed it in the matchup against App State. I just don't think they're that great, but I don't think Minnesota's very good either.
Nope.
So I think that someone said Mac Brown is the Joe Biden of head coaches. He's just a walking weekend at Bernie's thing. I might be buying into that. I'm going to take Minnesota to cover, Jackpot.
I'm going to take the Tez Heels to cover. I think they win going to. Minnesota's not good. The quarterback play is not good. They can't move the ball. They're not good. I'll take North Carolina. North Carolina's not as good as they look against South Carolina. I don't know if South Carolina made them look good. I don't know. I don't know what the deal was there, but they're what we thought they were. They're just not that great. So, but I still think they beat Minnesota. Minnesota's hot garbage.
All right, next matchup is Tennessee at Florida. Tennessee is giving up 7.5. I think that line's dropped a little bit, Jackpot. Which way you rolling there with your two SEC East rivals?
Our line is 7.5.
Yes, sir.
God, they always play a close game. Florida's not very good, though. They looked a little bit better this past week. They looked better this past week, honestly, than Tennessee did. So, going ahead and give me Florida. I don't like them. I don't like them either one. We got John Hopel over in the comment section. He said South Carolina is going to lose to Florida and Mizzou, and I asked him based on what. He said, Florida beat us by 32 points last year, and Mizzou beat y'all 23-10. LMFO. Okay, great. Well, I mean, I guess that means we're beating Clemson and Tennessee again this year, right? Okay. Well, so we're going to go 8-4 again in the regular season. That's not bad. We're just going to replay. We're just going to replay all of last year's games, according to John over here. He knows ball, by God.
Well, I give Jackpot grief, but I think South Carolina is a better team than Florida is right now with some of the issues they've got. I also think that they're better than Kentucky. Kentucky is I think a shit show. They're so bad they almost killed their offensive coordinator. I mean, he literally almost died. So there's that. No, I mean that's real.
John says y'all were losing to Furman. I mean, Clemson was losing to Charleston Southern. What's your point? I mean, it didn't last for very long. I mean,
North Carolina's ranked too, so I got nothing for John over there. But anyway, yeah, look, Tennessee hasn't beaten Florida at Florida since Jackpot Jr. was 2 years old. I'm not saying that that they should go down there and catch a loss. I don't see that, but I don't think they're going to cover the 7.5. So I'll take Florida and the points. I think that line's going to drop as they get closer to kickoff. And let's just be honest. I don't know if Tennessee was looking ahead to Florida this week or what, but they didn't really look that great against Austin P. The Governors kind of hung around for a little bit. So, but we shall see. See how the gimmick does down there in the swamp. But I'm going to take the Gators to cover.
Yeah, I mean, this is really a battle of. Is this game? Is a prime time game?
I think so. Yeah,
I think it's at night. Yeah, it means okay, good. I mean, it's just a battle. I mean, I hate both teams, but I don't know which one I hate less. Probably, I don't know. I'm gonna have to. I don't know. I'm gonna probably pull for the Gators in this one, just so I can point and laugh at the Tennessee fans.
Again. Yeah, either way, you're gonna get to laugh at somebody. BVD says, "Stop it with that gimmick bullshit." Well, stop fucking running a gimmick. Stop running an offense because you have a shitty offensive line that you just run up to the line as fast as you possibly can and try to fucking catch offside penalties and get people out of position. You can't man up and go and fucking knock anybody off the ball because you got a bitch offensive line. Stop running a gimmick offensive fucking strategy and I'll stop calling it a gimmick. Come on, BVD. You've been doing this a while. You know what the hell it is. It is a gimmick. It'll always be a gimmick. Your coach is a gimmick. Your program's a gimmick. The hell are you worried about? Anyway.
Sometimes I play with my gimmick.
Exactly. only on Tuesdays.
Like wrestlers, like on those wrestling podcasts I listen to, everything's a gimmick. Like a razor.
Yeah.
Like, I got to shave my face with the gimmick. Or, I was horny, so I played with my gimmick. Or, I need to drink some iced tea out of that cup, and I don't want to drink it out of the glass, so let me go get the gimmick. The straw.
Look, here's another comment from Billy. Gimmick that ass in the Orange Bowl. God damn it, Billy, we've talked about this. Bowl games outside of the CFP don't matter.
It wasn't really a loss, Billy, because they didn't care. Because they had two players that didn't play.
No one gives a shit. Who won the Orange Bowl 7 years ago? Do you know? No one knows. It doesn't fucking matter.
I guarantee you 7 years ago it was fucking special.
Shit. No one gives a shit about any bowl game.
They beat Mississippi State in the Orange Bowl.
That love the fucking the games that don't matter or haven't done anything since HD television was out. Those are the people who love these bowl games. Other than that, it's the fucking playoff. That's why Clemson's season is over. It's over. Clemson fans talking about, we can rally, we can go 11-1. You don't deserve shit. You need to be thinking, what the fuck can we do in the offseason to get us better? But we don't go out and get our fucking mouth pumped by Duke. Everything is the playoff.
Stop scheduling Duke.
Thinking that it's not.
That was just dumb.
Thinking that it's not the playoff, then you're not fucking striving to be the greatest.
Whoever scheduled Duke
for national championships. It's fucking stupid. Oh, we won the Orange Bowl. No one gives a fuck. A flying fuck. It's all about the college football playoff.
If
you're not there, you're not there.
Up there with his arm around that big trophy with that full of oranges. I bet you if Cade Klubnik had been standing up there with his lips on those oranges and that little trophy, you'd be singing a different tune.
I said it beforehand. The bowl game doesn't matter. I was saying this shit at Halloween. It's the same way up and down the road. You play to go to the CFP. You're not in the CFP. You're a bitch squad. Clemson is currently a bitch squad. If you're not there, no one gives a shit. Sorry, that's just the way that it is.
So you can't have a successful season unless you make the college football playoffs.
Yeah, well, what are you playing for, Jackpot? Are we playing to win a championship, or are we playing to be bitches? What are we trying to do?
Not everybody realistically can win a championship. What's the goal?
You can win a conference
so does
title.
that mean Arkansas State
Win the
shouldn't play the
conference
schedule because they have no shot at the playoffs?
Well, I mean, Arkansas State's playing for funding. I mean, that's basically what a lot of schools play for, is the money part of it. You're trying to win
what about teams like Florida that they're not going to go to the playoffs? They don't have a chance.
Florida,
South Carolina doesn't have a chance. So, I mean, what are we playing for funding too?
Yeah. I mean, it's money, right? Everything evolves around money, but it does come back to this. You try to build its seasons to get yourself to the college football playoff. That's what you're trying to do. Yeah, you could take your Orange Bowl win and hopefully get that into some recruits that can come in and get you over that threshold. But in reality, it's
in the 2022 slot in the trophy case, they can put an Orange Bowl trophy, and y'all just got some dust.
That's fine. Well, we're looking at our national titles. You can watch in HD. Those shine a little bit better. The next matchup is BYU and Arkansas. BYU is getting 10.5 on the road. I'm going to take BYU because I think Arkansas is a fraud. So give me BYU plus 10.5. They might win the game outright.
What did Arkansas do to be a fraud?
Arkansas has not been they haven't been consistent in like their past 10 games. They're really not. Their defense isn't very good. That's why they got rid of their defensive coordinator. I just don't think they're that good. I think BYU is better. So I'm going to take BYU and give up the 10.5 or get the 10.5.
Yeah, I would take BYU as well. Didn't they beat Arkansas last year?
They did.
They played, and they'll get into a rock fight because they're one of those teams that play some good solid defense. What? Yeah, I mean, last week I think they played Sam Houston State, and it was like a 14-7 game. I mean, they're going to ugly it up.
Yep. So I think we agree on that. Now this Jackpot sent me this game, and I put it on the schedule because
somebody said they got killed by Arkansas. Okay, they lost. Arkansas lost to Liberty. Was that who they?
Oh yeah, that's right. Yep. That's right. Got my religious schools mixed up there. The next one is Virginia Tech at Rutgers. Virginia Tech is getting 7 on the road. I mean, Virginia Tech's bad. I'm probably going to take Rutgers minus 7, Jackpot.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm taking Rutgers as well. They're 2-0. I didn't take them opening week because I figured they would beat Northwestern, but I figured it'd be a close game because all the games Rutgers wins, especially in conference, are close. Here, this is not a conference matchup, but I mean, Virginia Tech's probably pretty comparable to some of the lower tier Big Ten teams like an Indiana or something. They're at home again. This is their third straight game at home. They're having a scarlet out this Saturday night. They had a blackout this past Saturday night, and they beat Temple, beat them like a drum. So I'm going to go with Rutgers. No Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech is circling the drain pretty hard. I don't know how much longer that guy is going to be around.
Yeah, Pry, right? Yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
Tennessee Smokey over in the comment section, and he's another one that he's spoken to me about this before. Says the vulgar language on the live chat tonight has just gotten out of control, beyond offensive. Rob just can't control his mouth.
No, I can't. This is how fucking grown men talk to each other. If you want to have a prayer meeting, they have YouTube channels for that. You guys can sit around and talk about, I don't know,
is that the
smoke and dog hair or whatever the hell it is.
That's the 700 Club YouTube, or what is that? Pat Robertson's YouTube channel. He's still alive.
Yeah.
Dog says he can't find sweet heats anywhere. What are you talking about? Golden Flake sweet heat chips? What kind are you talking about there, Dog? Ragnar?
The next matchup is at Lucas Oil Stadium. Louisville is getting 10.5 against Indiana. It's being played at like an NFL site there, Jackpot. I don't understand that either. Why are they doing that in September? I mean, see, this feeds back into what I was talking about. It comes back down to money. Oh, we can get everybody into Lucas Oil Stadium. We can get a big payday.
How does
there.
that work? Who do the teams have to pay to play in those stadiums, or the
I'm sure
stadiums
that
and
they pay something.
or the stadiums and the sponsors, do they pay the teams to
I
put a
think that
game on in that stadium?
I'd have to look that up. I don't know.
I mean, I don't. It doesn't, because like Mizzou is playing Memphis this year in St. Louis in the dome there, like that nobody plays in anymore. I mean, and a lot of times they're just. I can understand if it's like a kickoff game or something of that nature, or like the Georgia Florida game. But I mean, just some wet fart, something that doesn't really mean a whole lot in the middle of the season, just doesn't. That doesn't work for me.
I don't even know, like, when's the last time? I'm looking this up now. When's the last time these two teams played each other? I don't even. Is there? And Big Barney Ross lives up in that area of the world. Are these teams rivals, or maybe it's something I don't understand because I don't live in the
They are in
land of
basketball.
bluegrass? Yeah, but I mean, we're not playing basketball. But I don't know. Maybe it's. It's not really an appealing matchup. If we were going to have like Ohio State playing there against, I don't know, Notre Dame, okay, I could halfway buy into that, but I don't get the whole, hey, let's have a game with Louisville and Indiana. Hmm.
You know what I think would be really
I
cool
wonder
if
how many
Indiana
tickets are
came
sold
out
for
to
that
play a
game.
football game, and like their jerseys and pants from head to toe were like those candy stripe pants, the colors of those, like the basketball team warms up in. That'd be badass.
So that
Even
is
on the
pretty cool.
helmets too.
Like candy stripe helmets.
Yeah, I mean,
could be
just the
cool.
whole entire uniform look like a bunch of peppermint sticks running around.
So Indiana and Louisville have played twice in football in 1985 and 1986. So they haven't played in what, 37 years. So
That would be correct.
there's that. Anyway, I'm gonna take Indiana plus 10.5. Why not? Next matchup is I thought you said you took Louisville. Oh, okay.
Well, there's an
Next
echo
is
somewhere there. I don't know if you can get rid of it.
I will see what I can do. LSU at Mississippi State. LSU is a 7.5 point favorite on the road. I mean, you know, LSU they thumped, what was it, Grambling last week?
Yeah.
But it's one of those things where I look at Mississippi State getting 7.5, and I think that's the way I'm going to roll there. I don't know if I'm really buying. I think LSU is going to be good, but 7.5 points is a lot on the road. So give me Mississippi State in the points.
Yeah, I think LSU's going to roll them. They're looking to bounce back after that disappointing early season performance. And I think they'll get the ship righted. I mean, you got to look at coaches here. I mean, you've got a guy who's never been a college coach before, or never been a head coach before, going against Brian Kelly. I think Brian Kelly beats them with ease. Go ahead, give me LSU.
I normally would agree with your logic, Jackpot, but we kind of thought that the same thing would happen last week with Matt Rule and Deion Sanders, and that kind of kicked us in the dick. So,
well, I mean, you just can't mess with Coach. It's not Coach Prime. I mean, it's the Louis.
Oh, okay.
The Louis. Do you believe now?
Yeah.
I told you. Told everybody. I told you believe.
All right, FSU at Boston College. Boston College is getting 28 at home. Boston College barely beat Holy Cross. Which way are we going with this shithole, Jack?
How much is Florida State favored by?
28.
I think there may be some weather involved in that game. There's a hurricane coming in. Lisa, I took Louisville. So I'm going to kind of reserve my pick on that one until I find out what the weather report on that game is. I mean, I want to take Florida State, but I mean they've just been on kind of a tear lately against LSU. They tore through them. And then last week they tore through Southern Miss like a knife through hot butter. Eventually they've got to come down. I mean, logic's going to tell you they're going to have a letdown game, not a game where they're going to let down and lose, but just a wet fart spot. They got Clemson coming up next week too, so this could be a look ahead spot for them.
I think Boston College, to quote Big Barney Ross, look, he just put it right there. They are overrated. So I'm gonna go with I agree with what Jackpot's saying with the weather, but Boston College is just terrible, Jackpot. I'm going to go with Florida State.
How did they get so bad? I mean, they had, we had some NFL. I mean, I think, the quarterback, Jerkovic, he transferred to Pitt, I believe.
Yeah. Well,
and
they had
is Zay Flowers in the NFL now?
Zay Flowers is in the NFL, but they had what was the guy's name that was there? They lost. They had a coach where every year they were going 6-6 and 7-5, and they
Adazio?
had Adazio. Yeah, they were going 6-6, 7-5 every season, and they were doing it with not a lot of talent, but his teams were known for, we're going to line up and hit you in the mouth, and they won some games that way. Yeah, and that's what they had. They had a real punishing offensive line. They had A.J. Dillon at running back, and then all of a sudden he goes away, and then they bring in the guy that's there now, Halfley, and they've just become a shithole.
Yeah,
so,
he was Ohio State's defensive coordinator. That's your first mistake. Ohio State defense coordinator. Okay, that's who we're going to make head coach. Yeah. Yeah, they just got it. Our buddy up here in the upstate on the radio walked up to try to tell everybody back in the late summer when we're all making their picks. They're tremendously underrated. Because I think BC wins 7-8 games. I'm taking them over. Whatever their over-under was, he was all sucking that BC ding-a-ling. And we see how that's turning out. Terrible.
Yeah. Next matchup, the game that Jackpot will be streaming on this very channel. That is South Carolina and Georgia. South Carolina is getting 26.5 points, Jackpot. First of all, tell us how the Gamecocks can beat. What has to happen? Is it you're going to have to find a Mukamu sighting where somebody returns a couple of interceptions? What is the way that South Carolina can not only cover but win, Jackpot?
Georgia's entire team gets the clap. That's first, second, and third string. And then we play the fourth string and beat them by a field goal. I don't know. It'll have to be accommodative errors for Georgia. I turn the ball over 2 or 3 times. Play really bad on defense. Like South Carolina's like not beating them like we did in 2019, where we scored 1 offensive touchdown, 1 defensive touchdown, and then it was over. I mean, their offense is much more dynamic now than it was then. Back then, I mean, all they wanted to do was run the ball. And South Carolina, miraculously that day, somehow was able to stop the run. Actually, back then, we could actually stop the run a little bit. I think the lines of scrimmage were a little bit better back then for South Carolina. Obviously, the skill position players now are much better than they were then. But it seems like we have that kind of problem. I mean, we can't, we just can't fucking get it all together where we've got some good skill talent, we got a good wide receiver, we got a good quarterback, and we got a good O-line. What was it, 3 years ago when Kevin Harris rushed for 1,000 yards, we had a really good O-line, had a really good running back, had a shitty ass quarterback and a shitty offensive coordinator. It's like we can't put all the pieces of the puzzle. It's like the football gods won't let us have all of it at once. Then if you ain't got it all at once, you ain't got nothing. So
if I were to tell you that how I think South Carolina can win, I think it comes down to a couple of different things. Spencer Rattler has to play lights out, which is possible. I mean, it's not that far-fetched to think that Spencer Rattler can go out there and have a dynamic day where he throws for 350 and 3 touchdowns. Spencer Rattler doesn't give a shit. He's going to go out there and play as hard as he can. Question is, will the wide receivers back him up? I don't know. How hurt is Juice Williams? That's something to think about too.
who's Juice Williams?
Why am I thinking Juice Williams?
He played for Illinois at one time, I think.
Yeah,
About 10 years ago.
The slot receiver that you guys had that transferred in. Why am I thinking of Juice Williams? I don't know what my brain's going on.
Juice
tonight.
Wells.
Juice Wells. There you
He's
go.
not a slot
Juice
receiver.
Wells.
Lines up on the outside.
Whatever. He is the Gamecock receiving core.
Luke Doty is the slot receiver.
Yes, very good. I think that Wells has to have a good game. I don't know who's going to run the ball. We'll see upon that. But it's also going to come down to, can South Carolina's defense match up with Bowers? And it's just going to be hard. You know, no one gave them a snowball's chance in hell 4 years ago. But, you know, to sit here, this is Georgia's first matchup of the season where they've actually played a team with a pulse. So we can give them that. It's the most talented team Georgia has faced this season. That's for sure. Will Georgia come out flat? I don't know. It's a 3:30 kickoff. They'll be nice and drunk there for you. I think Georgia wins, but I'm going to take South Carolina with the 26.5. I really, really do. I think that's the way it's going to go.
I'm not that confident. I'm going to take Georgia.
Okay. Florida Atlantic is getting 24.5 at Clemson. I think Clemson's going to roll them up and shoot them out. Florida Atlantic is not that good. I think the line's going to probably jump up to probably close to 30 by the time the game goes. Give me Clemson minus 24.5.
Okay, I'm not going to roll that way. I'm going to take Titty Bar Tom to cover. I think they come in there and punch you in the mouth a little bit and give you a little bit of trouble. I think Clemson's really is looking ahead to next week, and you know they think they can ruin Florida State's season, maybe get theirs back on track. You know, I think Dabo's probably been doing a lot of praying with them, and you know they've been doing all the right things, but have they been focusing on the task at hand? I think they kind of overlooked Florida Atlantic, and they're kind of looking forward to Florida State and getting their season back on track. So I think they give you a fight. Now, BBD, these are the Owls, the FAU Owls.
Next matchup is the Kale Hall shitter, even though most of the games were shitters, but this is the real shitter. Vanderbilt on the road at UNLV, the Commodores. When's the last? I mean, goddamn, they're favored by 3.5. Jackpot, which way are you rolling here, buddy?
It's tough. You know, if you watched last week, UNLV didn't play particularly bad on the road at Michigan. They only lost 35-7. And you know, they covered the number. So that's kind of like a moral victory, right, for UNLV. And they're actually coached by a legitimate Power 5 coach in one Barry Odom. So I'm going to take the old running Rebels. I don't know if they call them that anymore. The running Rebels to cover that number. I think they win the game outright.
Yeah, I think
Vanderbilt's not very good. They've taken a step back. Now, last week, that game against Wake Forest, I mean, they didn't cover. I didn't think they played particularly well. That game was weird, though. I mean, there was that long lightning delay, and, I mean, that may have thrown Vanderbilt off their game somewhat. But, I mean, it also could have thrown Wake Forest off their game, too. I mean, they could have won that game. They may have won the game by 31. if they hadn't had a snafu in the weather and had to sit the game for like 2 hours. And instead, they won by 16.
I'm taking UNLV as well. So I'm not impressed by Vanderbilt at all. All right, so let's look at the if you want to join the show, you can do that. Jackpot, are there other games that I know there are a lot of crummy games, but any other games that you were thinking about adding to the list there that you wanted to go over before we get out of here?
Just some interesting stuff here. Real quick over in the chat. Hold on. I wanted to address this. Tennessee Smokey says Jackpot has over 10,000 subscribers. Actually, it got over 11,000. With only 124 in this chat and 35 plus likes. Yeah. Well, I mean, I will say that 10, 11,000, whatever subscribers is kind of an inflated number. A lot of those subscribers came from the days of the lottery scratch offs. I think I had like 5,000 subscribers when I kind of started switching my gears towards football. So, it comes and goes. And we had 14,000 people apparently look at the Furman live stream, which I thought was nuts because there was never that many people in there. In fact, I ended it early. I ended it right about the beginning of the fourth quarter because we only had 100 people in there. And I said, if people keep dropping off the stream, I said, I'm going to end it, guys. And it kept testing me, and I ended it because I wasn't just going to sit there and stream for the heck of it, talk to myself. So yeah, what were we fixing to say? We're talking about other interesting games here on the slate. So it's frozen up. I'm sorry.
Let's go to we got a guest online. We'll go to them first. Doug Ragnar, unmute your mic, sir. And what do you have for the program? Got to unmute your mic there, sir. As we wait for him to, he just disconnected.
We got Penn State. Penn State on the road at Illinois. Penn State's 14.5 point favorite at Illinois next Saturday. I don't know. That's a noon kick. And that seems like a lot of points. I know Illinois didn't look real good this past Friday night against Kansas, but I think that could be a little bit of a bounce back spot for them. So maybe they keep that closer than that. I don't know. God, there's some terrible games here. Wake Forest at Old Dominion. Yes.
They're just terrible games this week.
UMass is playing at Eastern Michigan. That could have been a Kell Hall shitter candidate. Notre Dame is playing Central Michigan at 2:30 on the cock. 3:30 on ABC. The ABC crowd will travel to Raymond James Stadium as Alabama looks to bounce back against South Florida. Didn't South Florida almost beat the Gators in Raymond James last year?
I have to go back and look at that. They're not. Pretty sure. I don't remember. That's a good question.
East Carolina's at App State. App State's a 9.5 point favorite. They'll probably cover that number. East Carolina got boat raced at home by Marshall last Saturday. They're not doing very well this year. Of course, we got Tennessee and Florida. Auburn's playing Samford this week. Nebraska and Northern Illinois. Oh, God, there's some ugly games. Texas Tech's playing Tarleton State. I think that was the team Uncle Lou said. It sounded like it's a made up college, like the Bishop Sycamore was a made up high school. He said, I don't think that Tarleton Tarleton State actually exists.
Yeah, they were like a I don't know. I think they were like a big time power at like the FCS level or something at one point. I don't know.
Kentucky's
All
playing
right.
Akron at 7:30 on ESPNU. 25-point favorite. I take Akron to cover.
Take the Zips.
Oregon's playing Hawaii. Good Lord. It's a horrible game.
The line that's got to be Oregon's got to be a 35-point favorite, right?
Oregon is minus 37.5 against Hawaii. Colorado and Coach Prime are at home at 10 o'clock. I figured that would like to see that more in prime time. Not get it prime time, but it's at 10 o'clock. It's at 10 o'clock on Saturday on ESPN against Colorado State. Kansas is on the road at Nevada. Ugh. God, these are some ugly games. At 10:30 next Saturday on CBS Sportsnet. Kansas is a 28-point favorite against Nevada.
Right,
and then shout out to Zona Man.
Didn't Nevada have that 6'8" quarterback a couple years ago? He's like tall as shit. I'm pretty sure they had like a 6'8" quarterback.
Who?
Nevada. I can't remember his name. I just remember seeing something about him. I was watching a Nevada game for some reason. I put myself through that pain, but they kept hyping up how tall he was for some goddamn. Well,
last quarterback I remember by name that played for them was Kaepernick.
Colin Kaepernick played for Nevada?
He absolutely did.
I did not know that.
He was good too.
Oh, I bet. I mean,
he beat Boise State in that.
He was just a good athlete. That'll get you by.
Yeah, this is before he made a spectacle of himself. You know, and everything was about me. This is when he was actually a team player.
He took the San Francisco, I think, to the Super Bowl. He carved up my Packers to the tune of like 6 touchdowns in the air and 2 on the ground.
Was that the game where he had like a 90-yard touchdown run?
I don't know, but I was hating Kaepernick before hating Kaepernick was cool. Fuck him till the end of time.
Man, I didn't hear y'all cover it, but man, did Aaron Rodgers get a bad break. Jackpot, yeah. I know you're pissed off.
How is it a bad break? He's getting $24 million to sit at home.
Well, I'm talking about just in the sense of the season. Like, Jackpot's got to be fucking heated.
Would you like to have a tournament? And they still won.
Yeah, that's y'all's defense is legit, but Zach Wilson is I think we all know what he is. Yeah, but I had a good week betting last week. Brought in a little 170, something slight. Not bad. Looking to carry it forward. There were a couple games I liked. I like the Notre Dame spread versus Central Michigan. I think that's that'll hit. I think Notre Dame runs it up. Sam Hartman's the real deal.
Does that donkey guy still coach them, Rob?
Who for
the guy that looked like a donkey that was the coach at Florida?
Oh, Zook?
No, McElwain.
Oh, McElwain, yeah.
God.
I'm not impressed by him either.
Well, I kind of like South Carolina. I don't think our offensive line can play worse than they did in North Carolina. I mean, I was at the game, so I didn't get to see on the TV how they actually look. But from what I saw, they weren't really missing assignments like they were versus North Carolina. So I think that kind of shows marked improvement over what we saw. So if they can just actually not let people fucking run by them and give them a high five on the way through to sack the quarterback, I think we might be able to cover the spread. But
the thing is, Georgia's got 5 stars backing up 5 stars
exactly
on the defensive line, and North Carolina was. I mean, it's my thing, man. I was at the beginning of the 4th quarter. I got there and started looking at the stats of App State. North Carolina game, at that point in the game, and I don't know how it ended up being, App State had given up 0 fucking sacks to North Carolina. None.
Yeah, I think they ended up giving up 2. I could be wrong. I looked at the stat sheet. Either App State got 2 sacks or North Carolina got 2. But I want to say North Carolina.
I'd say it was the other way around. So, and even if they did, that's 1/4 of what we gave up.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
it's just I don't care if it was first game.
Well, if you go back and watch it, I don't even think it was a matter of the line getting outclassed or bullied. I mean, half the time they were literally just letting them run right by them. It was just like fundamentals, like not picking up the man, in front of you or on the edge. So I'm not so sold on the fact that they're just going to get.
I call it straight pussification.
Yeah, I think it's just poor coaching too. I don't think they were ready, but I'm not sold on the fact that they're just getting out-muscled by every single D line they're going to play. Because I mean,
I don't agree with that either. It's the footwork and the fundamentals. I mean, if your footwork is bad, you're going to be slow. You're going to be slow to make your block. I mean, it doesn't matter how quick you run the 40 in or how fast you are at other things. I mean, if your footwork is bad, everything is off.
Did I see something talking about a Cowboys hat? Sorry, Patriots.
What?
I read Rob highlighted a comment about a Cowboys hat, so I had to show it. But what were you saying, Kale?
I was just saying, if the footwork is off, I mean, everything is bad. And I think we had some that were just that. I don't think that Lonnie Teasley is a really good offensive line coach. I mean, he is a protege of Atkins, the Fat Arn Anderson.
Yeah.
He had what I don't know. I'm not really sure what his deal is. He got sick and he had to give up the offensive line job. And now he's just he just like helps with the team or something, some kind of analyst or something.
Well, and that's the thing. I kind of wish we would, because when I heard that, I kind of figured we were going to hire somebody completely separate. So I don't know. I kind of think a couple of our position coaches have been a little mismanaged by Beamer, to be completely honest. I probably would have got rid of Monterio after he couldn't bring in a single fucking running back this past offsite.
Yeah. I mean, nobody from the transfer portal would come here. Why would Logan Diggs not come to South Carolina? Why would that Jamoke from NC State, like the backup running back that wasn't even any good? Hell, he wouldn't even come here. He went to Kentucky to be the running back too, behind Ray Davis.
Yeah.
They would have probably started his ass at South Carolina. He wasn't even any good. It's just piss poor. Hardesty's not the answer. Lonnie Teasley's not. None of those offensive coaches impressed me a lot, except for Justin Stepp.
Yeah, I was about to say I like Stepp. Leggett. Holy shit! I never saw that coming. The way he's been playing this year, I'm pretty sure he's top 3 in the nation in receiving yards as it stands.
Well, I mean, he's finally started catching the ball. I mean, he had all kind of touches last year. He just couldn't catch the ball. He had feet for hands last year. Now he's remedied that somehow.
Yeah,
put in a lot of work, from what I understand. That's what Dowell Loggins said, that he's been working a lot and just working and grinding at getting better. So,
well, Rob, I think it's sad that that you just throw the whole season out with one loss. I think the game is bigger than just making the playoffs.
Well, you support a losing football team that's never been to the college football playoffs.
31-30. Let's calm down.
Congratulations.
You're 1-1 and you're past 2 home games. Don't forget
Whatever you need to tell yourself, sir. Whatever.
I'm just saying, Rob, it's no fun if you just throw the season out
in the college football playoff.
Like, are you even gonna watch any of the games anymore?
I watch the games, but I mean, it's just you strive to get to the college football playoff. Those are the games that you're trying to get to.
Yeah.
These other bowl games aren't important. They're just not.
I mean, I don't know. I think
mean you don't know?
I think there's more. I think there's plenty to play for other than the playoffs. I mean, that's ultimately the grand prize, but I mean, damn, you're not a failure if you win the fucking Orange Bowl. You know what I mean? It's not like you just had like an absolute dumpster
abortion
fire
of the season.
Yeah, I mean, winning 10 wins is impressive. If Clemson can win 10 wins, I don't think that's anything they should. I mean, it'd be a little disappointing, but it's not an absolute failure of a season.
No, well, I mean, they out of one hand of their mouth, they're disappointed if they don't make the playoffs. But on the other side of their mouth, they run around talking about beep, beep, beep. We too deep. We run 10 games in a row for 10 years in a row. Beep, 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 beep.
Well, and that's true. It's like I don't know. I like I said, I think there's more to play for than just the playoffs. I mean, just because you're out. I mean, damn, like Jackpot said.
I don't have a loser's mentality. You're trying to go to the playoffs. You're trying to win conference titles. If you're not doing that, what the fuck are you doing?
Well, I mean, every conference champion is not going to be able to go to the playoffs. I mean, I'm sure Georgia Southern strives to win the Fun Belt, but even if they win it, they ain't going to the playoffs.
Isn't Georgia Southern 2-0 right now, by the way?
I think they are.
Or is it Georgia State?
Georgia State may be too. Both those teams have got big dick energy.
You know,
everybody in the state of Georgia is doing well except Georgia Tech.
I was a big proponent of Sean Elliott getting the damn job. If I'm being honest, I think.
Well, I mean, they could have given him like a 2 or 3 year contract and said, "Here." I mean, he would have been the lowest paid head coach in the SEC by far, and I'm sure he would have taken it.
And we didn't look bad with him, didn't he, coach?
But the thing about it is that South Carolina was a more attractive program at the time than. I mean, I think that they probably would think that if we just give this to an assistant, it makes the job look less than. And hell, we just had Steve Spurrier here. But I mean, bringing Will Muschamp in to replace Steve Spurrier, you want to talk about less than?
Billy, let me address Billy's comment. He goes, he sure wouldn't want me coaching his kids in sports. Pitiful. First of all, these are not kids. Second of all, they are adults. They are making NIL money. It is professional sports at a college level. It's pretty much where we're at right now. So it's not like we're out playing peewee football and you can actually learn something from the game. So it's completely different.
That's what, it's professionalized athletic. That's what Mr. Coach Dabo said. Actually, Mr. Coach Dabo said he was going to quit when they did that, and he never did. So he's a liar. He did. He's a liar.
He did say that. It's on video.
That's not.
It's on audio, video.
That was not in
HD. They don't give a fuck.
That was not the context that he was saying. It's not the context that it was. I'm not going to sit here and argue with you guys because you wish that you had a coach that was like Dabo Swinney, but you don't. So I'm not going to sit here and kick you guys.
I don't want a coach that loses to Duke because we can't.
Yeah, you don't want to. You want a coach who can win something. You never had a coach
the fundamentals of the game. Can't hold on to the ball.
Jackpot, tell us about the conference title that you've seen in your lifetime.
Then we want to about it.
Tell me about the last 4 offensive coordinators Dabo's hired.
We're crying.
Tell me about that. Tell me about
the last 4 offensive coordinators Dabo's hired and
fired. The ball over all year. Clemson fumbles like every other snap.
You guys can run your dick suckers all you want. Dabo Swinney is better than any fucking coach that you've ever had.
He's like 50% without Venables.
I don't care. He's got 2 national title rings. Tell me
about
he's
hired 4 failures of
Coach Joe was
I'm going to sit here. I'm going to sit here and I'm going to play Minesweeper while you guys tell me about your national titles that any coach at South Carolina has in football. I'm going to play Minesweeper.
I think Coach Joe would have had a couple of national championships if he hadn't passed away, unfortunately.
Yeah, well, he's got to stay off the drugs.
That's just disrespectful, Rob.
Hey, that's unnecessary.
He was on steroids and fucking whores in the shower.
Well, you know who else needs to stay off the drugs? Dexter Lawrence in the fucking playoffs, getting those Osterine shots straight in his thigh.
Well, and that's fine. But once he tested, he did not play after he was tested.
But he played the whole season.
You know,
he played every game before then.
Okay, and according to the NCAA,
Well, I mean, you're the one who clowns the
so
NCAA every week, though. But now
I
you're
do clown
standing
the
by them.
NCAA every week.
Pretty much.
Yep.
You talk about how soft they were on Tennessee.
They were soft on Tennessee.
That's what I'm saying. So you clown the NCAA.
I do clown the NCAA.
So they were soft on Tennessee, but not on Clemson?
There was nothing. There's a complete difference there. And God damn it, I have to explain everything to you people. The NCAA did their investigation and found nothing. They investigated Tennessee and found 200 violations. 200 versus nothing. The fuck is wrong with you people? You can't win fucking football games, and then you're going to come in here and
said that they never released what they found with the
Clemson
Clemson
was
deal.
not found at fault. Go Google it. It's there for you. Right there for you. Google is free. Clemson was not penalized in this. Thank you very much. He did those drugs somewhere else and got the Osterine probably from Ben Boulware, if you want to be completely honest.
Yeah, that dude
Did
was
the
crazy.
Osterine once he tested
That
positive.
dude had to be on something.
He didn't play at Clemson anymore.
That dude looked like he got kicked in the face by a fucking horse.
Was he neck roll?
You guys can come at me. I'm not scared of you motherfuckers.
Who's the guy that Uncle Lou? Who's the guy that Uncle Lou called neck roll that played? For
I think that was Boulware. Or who was? Didn't y'all have another white linebacker like that? Who was that other one?
Oh, that was Skalski.
Yeah, James Skalski. That's what I was
the
thinking.
more recent one.
Yeah, why don't y'all have like a crazy ass white linebacker anymore? That was like y'all.
They do. They've got another one. Is that Woodaz? Is he a linebacker or is he a safety?
I don't know.
Well, I'll tell you, Barrett Carter. As a Carolina fan, Barrett Carter is a hell of a player.
Thomas Felkel says he was not a great linebacker. He was serviceable.
No, he wasn't.
Yeah.
Let's see what we got here. Fire Strawberry or no?
At least turn the volume down.
Plump Strawberry says Carolina fans are perfectly pleased to go 8-4 every year. They have low expectations. How do you know that?
No, I think it's about incrementally building.
When you were winning those games with Spurrier and you went 8-4 and went to the SEC championship game, then you put a fucking fucking banner outside of the damn stadium with him on it.
Well, we didn't go 8-4 in the SEC championship game. We went like 10-2, didn't we?
I was playing Minesweeper. I told you I was playing Minesweeper.
What is that? Legend of Zelda or something? What is that?
No, it was Minesweeper. You don't like Minesweeper?
I don't know what
That's not the Minesweeper I remember.
I don't play video games.
They used to put it on all the computers. They used to have like
that and then the pinball. You remember pinball?
I do remember that.
Hell yeah, that's what everybody played when the internet went out.
Brandon Baird said, "Why does the Clemson fella piss and moan so much? Somebody get him a tampon." I agree, sir. If you can find the drugstore that sells the super extra large,
I sit here every week. I'm the most honest motherfucker on this show. I tell you if my team sucks or they don't. I don't make excuses and blame all other people. I don't do any of that shit.
I'm offended by that.
I'll stand by what I said.
I'm offended by that. I think we should get into an honesty contest.
Yeah. I think that would be.
Find you on Twitter.
Hey, is that a Walton Swan hat, by the way?
No, this is a Swanee golf hat.
Stop looking at me, Swan.
That's what it is.
Yeah. Swanee golf hat.
I always liked that when you had that radio show.
Yeah.
And then then his thing was coming on next, and it would do that little intro. Stop looking at me, Swan. I always mouthed along with it. Plump Strawberry said Carolina never does anything. That's not true.
I can take it from anyone. But I laugh at Gamecock fans who try to come at me with this bullshit that, oh my God, we're the most relevant program in the country because we won one game against Clemson. Yay! That's fucking awesome. You won a game. It's ridiculous.
Our backup our third string quarterback looks better than your starter right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you believe that, then that's on you, sir.
I mean, no, that's just factual.
Look, well, then that's fine. That's your opinion. Okay. I don't think that Klubnik is going to be the guy. I'd like to see Helms playing a little bit.
Oh
Season
no,
shot.
Helms is
We're not going to the
ass.
playoffs.
I
Might as well
saw
run
him at
Helms.
Gray. I saw him at Gray. He got bullied by Gilbert every year. He's so bad. You do not want to see Helms.
Who's
Trust me,
that?
you'd rather see Vecina. You'd rather see Vecina.
Vizina's going to redshirt, so
Oh, has he already done that?
that's what they're going to do with him is redshirt.
Didn't y'all get a? Who's that other guy y'all got in the? I thought, or was Helms the one y'all got in the transfer portal?
No, Helms is a homegrown talent.
Who was the one y'all got in the transfer portal?
It was last season. They got some kid from Stanford, but he didn't really see the field. So Dabo doesn't do the.
Dabo doesn't do the things necessary to build championship.
I'm pretty sure he was like a former
anymore.
Clemson guy too.
He'll probably never go to the playoffs again. Probably never make the 12-team playoff either. The rate he's going.
If Florida State's ascending like I think they are, he might not.
Has any coach the past few years' stock dropped as fast as Dabo's has? Because like everybody's like, oh, he'll be shoe-in for the job when Saban gets gone when he's retired. Now Saban looks like we might be heading off into the sunset sooner than later. And ain't nobody talking about Dabo.
That's true. Everybody's talking about Dion.
I mean, Sports Illustrated rated him as a top 5 coach in the country this preseason, but they don't matter. Same thing for Sporting News.
No, you read it wrong. It was top 5.
The only people who don't like Dabo Sweeney.
He's not even the best coach in the SEC anymore.
Get the fuck out of here, man.
No, old Richard Gere down there at Florida State is.
All right. Bob has an SEC bias. We got to move on, buddy.
Because he's not scared to use a transfer portal.
All right. Let's bring in Vols by Fiddy. Welcome to the program, sir.
Jackpot. What's going on, brother?
What's going on, man? How are you?
A lot. Good. Sorry, I'm catching you guys a little late, but just a quick hot take on a couple of games this weekend. The main one being Florida and Tennessee, and Carolina and Georgia. And I kind of have mixed feelings on both of these. And we'll start with the Carolina and Georgia game. First 2 games of the season, Georgia's offense wasn't really clicking like it has the past few years, right? And Spencer Rattler's been balling out behind a not so good line. So, I mean, if Carolina's offensive line can get it together, man, I that might be some sort of a ball game. I mean, he's throwing for what, 340 yards every game?
He's thrown for 350 the past 2 games. And he was 30 for 39 against UNC. He was 25 and 27 against Furman. I mean, he's going to have to hit some quick hitters. But he's got some time back there in the pocket. He can do some stuff, but he's not going to have time in the pocket like he did against Furman for sure. So,
well, kind of like how Austin Peay threw the kitchen sink at Tennessee and gave us all sorts of fits. I think Shane Beamer's going to go in there with nothing to lose, and I think he's going to give Georgia all they can handle. And I don't be surprised if for the first half, I mean, it's a ball game. Now, depth might show up in the second half, and they might pull away, but I haven't been too surprised by Georgia's offense this year. Everybody's been riding Carson Beck, and I just don't see it.
Yeah, I think he's just average. Yeah, I think we punch him in the mouth for some reason. I think South Carolina goes up 7-0. I think we punch him in the mouth early. But like I say, I don't think we're able to sustain it. I wouldn't be surprised that they cover the spread. In fact, that's how I picked it in this contest, just to be on the safe side. I mean, if we don't, that would be a pick that I would gladly get wrong, but I just don't. I don't have a lot. What I've seen the past 3 years, just don't have a lot of confidence in them.
Well, I guess we'll see, but I just got that weird feeling, man. I do. And then my second one is obviously, most of y'all know I'm a diehard Tennessee fan, and after last week's performance, I honestly, I'm scared heading into this weekend as far as getting the vertical game going. Now, there's no question in my mind that from roster top to bottom that Tennessee has the more touted roster right now than Florida. Absolutely, from a defensive perspective, from an offensive perspective, I just think we're the more well-rounded team. But
no, well, I mean, the 247 composite says that Florida has a better roster. I'm not saying that they do. I'm just saying as far as ratings overall by recruiting class, Florida has the more talented roster. But
yeah,
Tennessee has I think Tennessee's got the better quarterback. I don't know, man. I mean, I'm at the point though. Until Tennessee wins down there, they have to show me before I actually buy into it.
Absolutely, 100%. I mean, we haven't won since 2003.
Yeah. So until that's not being rude. It's just go down there and win.
No, it's absolute facts. That's absolute facts. And some fans don't like to face the music, but no matter how bad a Florida team is, until they can win in the swamp, it's going to be what it's going to be. And like I said, as of right now, I mean, 247 on 3, whatever. Saying Florida has a better roster from top to bottom, I mean, I guess that's tomatoes, but I think that we have the more talented team, especially on defense. I think we can give Florida's offensive line, which has been very dismal, I think we're going to give their offensive line a fit, and I think Graham Mertz is going to become best friends with the turf Saturday. But as far as the offense goes, if they can force us to be one-dimensional and they try to get Joe Milton to beat him with his arm, those short intermediate passes aren't going to get you by for four quarters.
And say the 24/7 thing, saying Florida has a better roster, top to bottom, than Tennessee does as far as talent goes, and then looking at those two teams side by side, you know what that tells me? They have terrible coaching.
Yeah, I could buy into that too, but I've seen better Tennessee teams go down to Florida and play shitty Florida teams and lose.
It's been a mental aspect.
Yeah. I mean, you would think that the better coaching would get them past it. But for some reason, I mean, they haven't won down there in 2 decades. And they've had good teams there at Tennessee.
It's a psyche thing, man. I don't know. It's not even from a skill standpoint. It's something about the swamp, and I mean, it's time to put up or shut up.
It reminds me of South Carolina with Mizzou right now. South Carolina's had 4 teams the last 4 times they played Mizzou, but Mizzou's kicked their ass. Doesn't make any sense, but that's just the way that it shook out. And I mean, no South Carolina fan can logically give you a good reason behind it because they've had better teams. But for some reason, when they play the boys from Como here in the past 4 years, they've gotten their dicks handed to them. And it doesn't make any sense at all. It really doesn't.
No.
It's something when Will Muschamp was the head coach at Florida, Tennessee couldn't beat Will Muschamp. And when Will Muschamp went to South Carolina off the rip, I said that was a bad hire. But his first season at South Carolina, what did Will Muschamp do? Skull drug Tennessee his first year there. And it's a Florida thing, man. So I don't know. I feel like we're supposed to win on paper. Obviously that's a tough environment. Joe Milton's a 6-year senior. I mean, being nervous and there's no excuse, man. And I don't think it's a coaching issue. I just think that he's one of those guys, kind of like AR. When he's on, he's impossible to beat. But when he's off, the world's falling. And which version of Joe Milton are you going to get?
What's a 6-year senior called? Is that a super duper senior?
Yeah, I'm telling you, yeah. Red shirt, COVID year.
Senior.
Just like Stetson Bennett at Georgia, 6-year senior. I mean, there's no excuse to, and especially with him being in the program with Josh Heupel now for 2 years, but just being in college football for 6 years. I mean, you can't go into a game and claim that there's nerves or, I mean, Bo, you've been in the program, you've been in college football for 6 years. You got to put up, and I don't know, man. I just don't know how that game's going to turn out. I think that if we get up a couple scores early, then that's going to be it, because I don't think Josh Heupel's going to let his foot off the gas. But I think, on the other hand, it could be a lot closer, and I don't know if for some reason if Tennessee got down late in the game, if Joe Milton could lead that comeback. I really don't know.
Yeah, if they get behind, he's probably going to start rushing stuff and overthrowing people and throwing the ball up in the stands and
I mean,
pulling some of the moves like DJ Ukulele was doing. Not the version of DJ Ukulele we have now. The one we had when he was at Clemson before he was really gotten developed, like he has at Oregon State. But yeah.
I mean, I think we all seen, what he did after he came in last year when Hendon Hooker got hurt, and then how he literally balled out in the Orange Bowl. But that's in the past. I mean, but we've seen the potential of that guy, and like I said, when he's on, he's on. I just don't know if I can bet that this is going to be a game where he's going to put it together and have a good, solid game. I don't know. But I got high hopes, so we'll see what happens.
All right, buddy. Well, we appreciate it.
You almost made me want to pull for Tennessee now. I'm torn.
Man, I appreciate it, guys.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
BVD with a valid point. I will apologize.
Did he not sound just like TriStar? Their voices they was almost the same. I was like, who's this sound like? And I'm like, oh, he sounds like TriStar.
BVD with a good point. He says he can explain it because Kale hasn't been in attendance. I will apologize to Carolina Jackpot live on the show the Sunday after the Missouri game if the Gamecocks go up there and get the win. And if they do get the win, Shane Beamer should give Jackpot the damn game ball. No, not to Spencer Rout. It should be Carolina Jackpot, who'll be one of the 8 South Carolina fans that travel up there. He should get the damn game ball because he's going to go up there and his Gamecocks are going to show out and finally slay that Mizzou Dragon.
Eli Drinkowitz may be fired by then.
He might. All right. Well, there are our picks. We hope you guys enjoy the weekend of football. If you haven't made your picks, go to robandkaleshow.com. Updated standings are up there as well. If you have problems with the contest, feel free to email me. I generally get back to those really, really quickly. So, yeah. Jackpot may dance in the stands if they win up there. He might.
I'll dance in the stands anyway.
All right, Jackpot.
Juggernaut says Jackpot's big in Mizzou. I'm big everywhere I go. Just big.
The podcast loves Jackpot. They mention Jackpot every damn show.
Yeah, so, I didn't call in this past week. I just didn't have anything to say. I don't know why. But yeah, they played the Blue Raiders. Almost got beat. Their fans came unhinged. I mean, they were really, really mad.
So, well, it's been a good show, Jackpot.
Yes, Jerry, I'm going to stream the game. I need to put the thumbnail up for that and have it scheduled. It'll be about 3:20 p.m. on Saturday afternoon. Gamecocks versus UGA. Be there or be square.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking forward to the stream too on Saturday.
I don't know how that one's going to go. Hopefully, Uncle Lou will do that one on Patreon, so they won't take all the people that would be watching mine. But it is what it is.
Uncle Lou will be bored at the half.
What's that?
Uncle Lou will be bored at the half. He'll be talking about dominoes and all kinds of other bullshit at the half, probably. So we'll see. Yeah. All right, guys. Appreciate it. We'll see you later on.